All right, so moving on to our speakers. Our first speaker is Glen Myers. Glen spent weeks up in Ottawa during the convoy, and he also did several of the local convoys. He owns the beautiful slab cab truck that's out front, the big rig. So please welcome Glen Myers.
Well, I would like to say that it's been a very enjoyable day for me here today. Is that better? I was going to say it was a very enjoyable day to be here, and we had good food and lots of people that we listened to and learned things, and it's important. To me, I have the feeling I like to be with people that are together on the same page, the same thought patterns and things, and that's important to me. I want to say that I'm honored to be able to help celebrate the first anniversary of the Freedom Truckers Convoy. Wayne asked me back in November if I would consider doing this. He told me that he'll give me 10 minutes to say have my little speech. And the problem is that I was in Ottawa for 22 days, so it's very hard to get this in 10 minutes. I wrote down a few notes and things, but there's so much more that could be said. So, I would like everyone to stand up that was actually at Ottawa in the convoy, just for interest's sake. Perfect. So that's a good amount of people. So what I've decided is if all you people were there, I don't really have to say anything, right, Wayne? Because they already know. Yeah, but they probably told somebody already, right?
Told everybody.
Everybody, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, I basically just going to read my thoughts that I have so that I don't get sidetracked. There's, like I said before, there's so many things that I could be speaking about or remember. And so why it is that I decided to be part of the trucker convoy. I have been a truck driver for 35 years, hauling farm machinery into the U.S. In March 2020, with the COVID outbreak, I couldn't understand how most people willingly and very quickly bowed down to the government requirements. Wearing stupid, silly masks, staying 6 feet apart, and so forth. I was very sad and disappointed to see the fear among people. And you all know, I think, what I'm talking about, right? It was just, I'm not even very educated. I only have grade 10, but it just seemed, in my brain couldn't figure it out. But anyways, I was not fearful of the COVID, and I basically vowed that I wouldn't wear a mask. So by June 2020, this is a few months later, I had signs posted on my farm and on my truck saying, "Say no to masks, don't believe the lies," and "Say no to masks and the erosion of our freedoms." And because that's what I believed. And there was a lot of people liked the signs. There was some people that took my signs, and some people stole the signs. So, however, I also experienced various lockdown measures as a driver. I was not allowed in certain businesses without a mask. I ignored the signs on the doors. I went in anyways. This was even though I was considered an essential worker as a truck driver, right? But It's just so much that could be said. So come January 15th, 2022, this is a bit over a year ago, I could no longer cross the border. I came home on the 14th that week. I left a few days earlier, a day or two earlier, just so that I would not run into any problems with the deadline for the vax to come back into Canada. So Sunday the 23rd at Trinity Bible Chapel in St. Jacobs, that's where we attend church, Pastor Jacob Riome and other friends encouraged me to go to Ottawa. We thought about it overnight and then started making plans. Monday the 24th, I called my sign guy regarding 3 4x8 signs for my trailer. I wanted to make a statement if I was going to Ottawa. I had various friends provide quotes, thoughts, and scripture ideas for the signs and help with the costs. And some of my friends that helped me are here tonight, so I'm thankful for that. Their support, right? On Wednesday, I picked up my signs around 2 p.m., mounted them on my trailer, preparing for the unknown trip. I parked my truck and trailer on the street in Hairston and Clifford to make a statement. And my wife was not totally impressed, I guess, but that's why I bought the signs, to get the message out. So I was overwhelmed by the support of people, tooting horns, taking pictures, giving me hugs and cash, basically all from strangers. There was a few people in Hairston and in Clifford that I knew, but a lot of people were stopping that I didn't even know and probably never saw again, right? So I was just doing what I believed in doing, but I had no idea how this was going to work out. I also contacted some of my trucker friends that were running the States. I knew for years, it's like, surely somebody will come with me. And it was very sad that none of my trucker friends were willing to go to Ottawa with their trucks and join the truckers' convoy. I have in brackets here, they're living in fear. And yeah, but that's the way it is. Thursday the 27th, I got up around 6 that morning, or maybe even earlier. But this is my human nature coming out here. But I really struggled with the idea of going to Ottawa. Even though I was supposed to leave at 7:30 that morning, and for a bit there, like I had trucked for 35 years. I never really thought about leaving home, right? But this was a total different experience for me. And so I soon realized I already had friends counting on me to go. I also had neighbors come at 7 o'clock to see me off, giving me food and cash. And John and Emmy Lou, they're here too. Where are you at, John? Okay, yeah. So they gave me good support as well. So my wife Diane and me prayed together and hugged each other in a different way, kind of like when men went off to war, possibly. Like the unknown was before us. It was a total different, like normally I would leave Tuesday and know that I'm home Friday or Saturday, but I kind of had the feeling that when I was leaving, I wouldn't be home in a few days, right? And was hoping not, so. I left home at 7:30. This is Thursday morning. Kevin and Darcy Armstrong, Kevin is here as well, a good friend of mine, good freedom friend, followed me to Drumbo, giving me food and cash as well. I left home to head to Drumbo to be part of the fringe minority with unacceptable views. So I was overwhelmed getting off the 401 at the Drumbo exit. This is where we were meeting. So many people in vehicles and Canadian flags. There was no doubt in my mind at that point what I should be doing. And so many people taking pictures, horns were blaring, giving food and cash. And again, it was a very special, touching moment for me. Just never imagined this type of support. I left Drumbo around 2 p.m., headed east on the 401 with the convoy. There was a huge number of various vehicles. Again, horns blaring and lots of flags, signs blowing in the wind. It was awesome to see all the people standing beside the road and on the overpasses waving us on. Literally hundreds on a bridge. And remember, it was cold, very cold. I have maybe minus 20, I'm not sure what it was, but it was cold. Diane, my wife, was at Cambridge at an overpass with church friends. I've never, as a truck driver, blown my horn as much as going to Ottawa. We parked at the Napanee Flying J for the night, the convoy this is. Again, so much excitement, love, and kindness in the air. I was basically just parked there. I purposely parked in the car area because I had the signs on my trailer and I wanted people to see them. So I was kind of maybe not supposed to be in the car area, but that's the way I am. So, but anyways, what was interesting was I just basically parked and a man came up to me and knocked on the door and he said, how much fuel's in your truck? It's like, well, I don't really know. My fuel gauge hasn't worked for 10 years, right? But anyways, I said I fueled up when I left home. So it's like, I wasn't worried about fuel yet. He said, you pull over to the fuel pump. I want to fill up your truck with fuel. And it's like, no. It's like, and I'm thinking like all the years I drove truck, nobody, not even my dad, ever offered to give me fuel, right? So it's like, no, he said, I really want to. And it's like, so then I asked him, I said, so do you have any idea how much fuel a truck would hold? Like if he's driving a little minivan or Dakota pickup, like, and then he says, you see that truck shop over there, there's a repair shop. He said, I own that. So he said, I know how much fuel this could take. I didn't let him put it, fuel it quite up, but he put $180 in. Out of his, swiped his card, right? And I just never, like, I was in tears because of that. And I have, and this was just the beginning of the generosity of people. And yeah, it's overwhelming. Friday the 28th, I was getting ready to leave Napanee. Friends had told me I can't get into the restaurant without a mask. I said, I bet I can. But anyways, to make it short, it didn't go well. The lady there, waitress, she wouldn't let me in, and I said, yeah, I want to come in, and It's like, she said, you want to talk to the manager? Sure. So he come out, he said, I hear you aren't going to wear a mask. I said, that's correct. And I didn't really want to get to eat. I just wanted to see if I could get in the restaurant. Really, I did just, but anyways, the sad thing was, I said, I'm with the Freedom Convoy, all these people. He said, all you Freedom Convoy people might as well just go like this. Put a gun to your head right now. I said, pardon? He said, yeah, just put a gun. It's like, oh, okay. So that was kind of disturbing. But anyways, around 2:30, I arrived in Ottawa, parked down by the canal. I was not impressed to be parked there, as I was hoping to be up in town. But that's where we were directed. And Saturday, I walked up to Parliament, spent most of the day there with the fringe minority, which wasn't a small fringe minority of people. There was so much excitement and kindness and happiness. And again, it was a very cold day. So Sunday, I slept in the truck Saturday night. Sunday, I woke up to find lots of food had been placed on my trailer as I was sleeping in the truck. I had no idea who did it. The bags of sandwiches and cookies had, most of them anyways, had little notes, handwritten thank you notes on the inside of the bags. And yeah, I saved all those notes, but some of them were from children and some were from churches, but just a huge, very, very touching little notes of thanking us. And no, we didn't take food from the homeless. That's a lie from CTV News. We fed them. So, anyways, I moved my truck and trailer with the food up onto Metcalf from down by the canal. I talked to Randy Hillier, this is Sunday morning, took a picture together. I had friends come and help and organize and distribute the food. By now I was able to nudge my truck up another half block where I remained parked for the next 20 days. So I was parked at Metcalf and Slater there, but I was like 2.5 blocks directly south of Parliament Buildings. I could see the Parliament Buildings if I got out of the truck, and Metcalf goes up a bit of a hill. You could see the buildings there. So I was at a good spot. By evening, the street was totally clogged with various vehicles. My trailer got emptied off around 8 o'clock Sunday night. The kindness and generosity of people is overwhelming. On Monday, I think most freedom protesters were hoping and expecting that Trudeau would come out. Let me start over. I think most freedom protesters were hoping and expecting that Mr. Trudeau would come out and have a discussion with us on Parliament Hill. Sadly, the leader, I didn't really say where he went, but whatever, sadly, the leader of this country is a coward and hates seeing people express love, kindness, peace, and supporting each other. As time went on, he and his government media said some very nasty things about us. I spent a lot of time up on Parliament Hill. There was a variety of speakers on the stage of the Crane truck. Every morning at 11, this is something that I think is very special. It was to me and a lot of other people, that Christian, God-believing people. Every morning at 11 o'clock in front of the Parliament buildings, there was Bible reading, singing, and prayer, and it was another awesome experience. There was also a lot of, my wife doesn't want me to say this, but I decided this is my own thing, so I'm going to say it. She's already shaking her head. Anyways, there was a lot of F. Trudeau flags and signs, a very popular sentiment. So this is what I come up with about the F. So F stands for fringe. The U stands for united. The C stands for the convoy, and the K stands for kindness. So that's a different interpretation. While in Ottawa, we supported a small family restaurant, the iconic restaurant. The owners were very nice people who supported the truckers' convoy. The place was always packed with people looking for good food, coffee, and a place to warm up. It was very nice for Diane, my wife, to come out to Ottawa 2 times with Freedom Friends. She was also overwhelmed with all the excitement in the air, truck horns blaring for the first week, and all the people who were kind and happy. Various people would pray for us on the sidewalk. Often people would thank me for standing up for freedom, and I tried to remind them of the families back home and to thank them too. So for every truck driver that was there, there was likely a family back home, or people back home as well. This also contradicts CTV. It was also special to meet a number of Ottawa residents who were very glad to see the truckers come to the city. Some of them had become extremely discouraged and had a sense of renewed hope by us being there. sorry. They came downtown almost every day. They opened their homes to us and offered warm food and did our laundry. One person also saw how cold it was and bought me a warmer winter coat. The generosity was amazing. And it's just, that lady there, her name was Anne. She's just constantly going around helping. Do you need anything? I said, I need some more vitamin C. She brings vitamin C, right? You could never give her any money, right? So it's just amazing. Never in my life ever experienced anything like this. I was parked in by some very good Freedom friends. Metcalf Avenue is a 3-lane, one-way street. 2 right lanes were totally blocked with various vehicles. I name a few people here. Gerald in front of me, he was had his truck there from Manitoba. Ron beside me, who slept in his pickup, was from Alberta. Amy behind me drove from Alberta alone. Andres beside me from Quebec. He was kind of maybe a bit of an artist type of guy. He wrote that Certified Dirty Idol on my truck, and that's an old truck, and when it would start up in the mornings, frigid cold, it's not plugged in, but it sent off smoke signals. So, but he also stayed up at night and watched around the block the street where we were at. He had an eye for. I never really had any issues at all, more than some eggs thrown at the truck. But Pinto, he was also ahead of me. He was from Quebec, but I had a little trouble with my air dryer, and he was mechanic, truck driver, like awesome man that helped me change that, parked beside the street. Fuel was also brought to us in pickup trucks with slip tanks the first week. Then that was not allowed. This was another way of the government trying to force us out. So people brought fuel in cherry cans, no charge, and so generous. Randy Hillier gave me 300 liters of fuel, no charge. He came to me one night, and he had a farmer friend from Ottawa, cash cropper, and they had the pickup truck. And Randy says, Glenn, I got 600 liters of fuel in there for you. And I said, no, I don't need that much fuel. I said, just give me some and give the rest to somebody else, right? Like, we had the kind of, like, I wasn't going to be greedy. I didn't need that much because I was hoping I would get some in a few days again, right? So, but yeah, you could not give them any money for it. Some local businessmen from Hairston also arranged for fuel to be brought to me, which was very much appreciated. I'll say that these are people from Hairston that I'd done business with maybe, I will say 15, 20 years ago. Didn't really talk to them much since. And I was shocked really to know that they found out I was in Ottawa and contacted me. And so again, it's just awesome how it's hard to explain, but the generosity and the love and the kindness was just flowing very much. And it's an undescribable memory of mine, being surrounded by total strangers and at the same time feeling so much love, kindness, unity, and peace. For the first 2 weeks, it was such an awesome time and experience. Even the police were kind of friendly. We chatted with some. I talked to one police officer, and then when I met him, I said hi to him, and he said, good day. And I thought, well, that's kind of different for a police officer. Like, that's more of a farmer term in my mind. But yeah, they were fairly friendly. I would have, not too bad. After Trudeau invoked the Emergency Act February 14th, the police presence multiplied greatly. It kind of started to feel to many of us that we weren't going to get anywhere. It was really sad to see the corruption in our country, the police doing what they are told to do against a huge crowd of unarmed, peaceful protesters. Friday the 18th, 3 weeks after I arrived in Ottawa, the police used extreme brutality measures to push us out. People were hurt badly, and after seeing that, I decided, a bunch of us decided, I guess we are no match for their methods. It was really a sad day. So much love and kindness was shared together. And I believed that when I went to Ottawa, people were worried about, oh, you're going to get in trouble and you're going to try to overthrow the government, it's whatever, right? I would say that I hope to be part of a peaceful movement there. And what I'm proud of, this is the way I look at it. We went there as a peaceful group of protesters, and we left there peacefully. So we didn't... I'm thankful for that. Like, I really think that maybe that speaks louder than some other methods, but lots of vehicles left that Friday afternoon and into the night. I decided to leave Saturday morning. It was an emotional experience, saying goodbye to the new friends I had met. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain how that morning went too, but I actually left around noon, drove to Napanee for the night, and came home Sunday morning. I was welcomed in my hometown by some very special Freedom Friends that had signs out on the sidewalk and things, and it was good to be home, and I was very tired and exhausted from the whole experience. So this is pretty well the end of my little speech. I have here, but I would do it all over again. So if I had the chance and there was people that would want to, I don't regret going there at all. It was a I shouldn't say lifetime, but it was an experience that I hope I never forget. And I never in my life was around something like that. And so I would like to thank all of you for supporting the convoy in whichever way you were able. There was various ways that people helped, and not just me, but the convoy in general, right? And we all know that the government tried to, well, they did seize the GoFundMe fund and whatever, right? But that still didn't stop us, right? There was other ways. We still carried on, right? And I think that's, we still have to look out for each other. And so that's about my time is up. I'm sure 10 minutes is gone. Thank you very much.